The Grecale Folgore is Maserati's first electric car. Now, for any of you watching this who can speak Italian, you'll know that Folgore means lightning, and it is the identifier of Maserati's EVs, which will, and I quote, light the fuse of a new energy. No comment. If I swear too much, YouTube will penalise me. It follows the brand's weather theme too, as Grecale means a northeasterly Mediterranean wind. Enough of the Italian lesson, let's get back to this electric sports SUV. The Grecale is Maserati's biggest seller, with 18,000 sold worldwide last year, so electrifying it is a step in the right direction, as is giving every model the same treatment by the end of next year. The trouble is, they're rather late to the electric SUV party, and so the Folgore faces seriously stiff competition from the likes of the Porsche Macan Electric, BMW iX, Mercedes-Benz EQE SUV, Lotus Electra and the Audi Q6 e-tron. It looks pretty much identical to the ICE version, which is deliberate. They don't want to shock their customers with futuristic styling. They need them to come on board their journey to electrification. As such, it retains some of the Maserati specific design cues, such as the lights, coupe-like cabin, sleek rear window, prominent bold wings and fuselage effect on the bonnet, while the front is inspired by the high-performance Trofeo version with aggressive-looking air intakes lower down. It marks itself out from its petrol siblings with a revised grille that is also gloss black to tie in with the splitter, door handles and side skirts. The diffuser has been redesigned too. The side vents are illuminated and the badges and brake calipers are a lovely shade of copper. Inside, the reference to the cars of the 1970s like the Ghibli and their T-shaped structure is reduced to a simple and linear design, highlighting the materials of the Grecale Folgore, which are distinguished by defining embossed pattern on the dashboard and the carbon copper 3D touch trim. The Sport 14-way electrical seats have this innovative lasering technique and will cool or heat your rear. All come as standard with leather, but you can spec this regenerated yarn at no extra cost, once fishing nets and fabric from mills or carpets at no extra cost. Great if you like to be eco-friendly and like the look and feel of neoprene sportswear. There are 4 screens: the classic cluster, the new central 12.3-inch panel, a smaller 8.8-inch comfort panel with extra controls and the new digital clock. This removes the buttons from the centre panel, which helps it to look cleaner and leaves much more room for the armrest, the large storage compartment with double butterfly doors and the mobile phone charging area. The comfort display allows easy access to the aircon and heated seats and a few other commonly used functions, but just like everything else, it's touch controlled and it's so much harder to use whilst on the move. I found the system to be quite laggy and fiddly to operate. I mean, there's a lot going on here, so I'm glad that there's wireless Apple CarPlay and Android functionality. In terms of materials, build and design, it's slick and of high quality, as one would expect. There's real attention to detail, from the laser-cut metal grilles for the new Sonos Faber sound systems tweeters and mid-range speakers, to the chrome-plated finish of the digital smartwatch, central air vents and drive mode selector. This soft, diffused lighting that emanates from behind the central display is supposed to produce a living room effect and is apparently seen here for the first time in a car. It will also comfortably accommodate 4 adults with room for a wee 5th passenger in the middle seat and has a 535-litre boot, no different incidentally from its ICE-powered siblings. It's equipped with a 105 kilowatt-hour battery using 400-volt technology, so it will offer up to 310 miles of range, less than all of its rivals, and lags behind the Electra, Macan Electric and Q6 e-tron when it comes to charging times too, taking 29 minutes to juice from 10 to 80%. When we got in the car, we were actually only seeing 262 miles on a full range, but it had been previously ragged by journos. The press lady actually told me she'd seen more than 310 miles on numerous occasions. At least customers will receive a wall box at their home or in their preferred location, which will supply charging power of between 3 and 22 kilowatts. Now, Maserati has a history of releasing high performance engines to keep them relevant and exciting to drive. The Neptune V6 and the F160 V6 are perfect examples. And as we move forward into the next generation of production performance and luxury cars, they've done it again. Maserati's new electric SUV will deliver 605 pound-per-foot of torque and 550 brake horsepower from its twin motor setup. That's enough for a top speed of 137 miles per hour and a 0 to 62 time of 4.1 seconds. That's quicker than all of its entry-level rivals, and by God, it does feel rapid. Press the blue engine start button, select what drive mode you want to go to, off-road, max range, GT or sport, and away you go in serene silence. The purists will hate it. In max range, when the battery falls below 16% and there are no charging points nearby, the car will cleverly reduce the top speed to 85 miles per hour and will also reduce the response of the accelerator pedal and limit the power of the climate control. All Folgore models are equipped with air suspension, so as you can imagine, it's wonderfully comfortable. And as well as making an excellent grand tourer, it's also practical for families. It strikes a really good balance between agility, body control and composure. If you want a tauter driving experience, then just stick it in sports mode. But the Porsche Macan definitely has the edge over it when it comes to dynamic driving. In addition, if you press the middle of the drive mode button, it will soften the suspension in all of the modes, with the exception of off-road. Off-road mode, incidentally, raises the ride height by 30 mil. Of course, no owner of this car is ever going to take their car off the beaten track. However, I'm sure it will come in handy for traversing fields for a shooting retreat, or perhaps crossing snowy tracks for a day on the slopes. It will also adjust the air springs so it rides better over bumps and ruts, but over a certain speed it will revert back to the Grand Tourer mode. The steering is light and progressive, very Maserati, and it's very nimble and eager to change direction. Unfortunately, it does feel a little disconnected when the car is weighted up into a faster corner and there's a little bit of body roll. If you really push it, it gets a bit twitchy as well. You can adjust the brake regen through the steering wheel paddles, and there are 4 strengths, from free wheel coasting to what Maserati call one pedal driving, but you still need to use the actual brake pedal to come to a complete stop. The brakes at least feel really good and they're easy to modulate. I'm still not sure about this digital device that replaces Maserati's classy analog clock for the first time in its history. I guess stuff's gotta move on. It shows you stuff like G-forces if you're cornering or accelerating hard enough, and operates the voice assistant that can control climate, media, navigation and phone calls. It's versatile, premium, spacious, comfortable and quick. The Grecale Folgore brings some proper Italian flair to the electric SUV market, but here's the big caveat: the price. It costs from £99,175. That is considerably more than all of its rivals, from the Audi Q6 e-tron at £61,240 to the Lotus Electra at £84,990. Our test car has the £1,755 tech assistance package, £330 heated steering wheel and £500 rear privacy glass, but it is loaded with equipment as standard, and perhaps it's the right money for what an electric Maserati SUV should be. They've always offered something different from the German alternatives. Beauty, luxury, performance and exclusivity are all key factors for buyers with this kind of money. And I suspect this will appeal to motorists who want to buy into the cachet of the luxurious badge. For me personally, it doesn't stand out enough in areas such as charging speed, range, dynamics or tech. And if I had that kind of money, I would probably go for the Macan Turbo Electric and have the £3 change. I guess I'm just not a Mazda kind of girl. Maybe that will change when I get my hands on the Grecale Folgore. I do love a drop top, and other than the MG Cyberster, there is nothing else on the market. Perhaps then my heart and head will say, go Italian.